Good afternoon, everybody, and you are very welcome to the Donegal Garda Youth Diversion Project, and it's part of the Next Steps Summer Webinar, and that's a two-part webinar, and Jane McLean's going to tell us a little bit more about that. So there's today, and we're focusing very much on educational paths today, the barriers faced for some young people that may not have gone the traditional route. I often tell the story that if they were counting Leaving Cert points in 1981 when I did my Leaving Cert, I can assure you, there just wouldn't have been an awful lot there to work with. So it's fantastic that now there are so many ways that people can follow their dreams and follow a career path and different educational routes for them. So that's fantastic. And in a moment, we're going to talk to Fiona Kelly from LYIT, and Fiona is the LYIT Schools Engagement Officer and RPL Officer, and we'll let her explain all of that shortly. So before we move on, please feel free to put any questions into the chat box, or questions to the Q&A or into the chat box. We will be here for about an hour. There will be lots of opportunity to ask questions, and anything we're not clear on, it's being recorded and it will be used as a resource then afterwards. It'll be on a YouTube channel and it will be available to all departments for a resource. So again, you're all very welcome. And as I say, it is the Donegal Garda Youth Diversion Project. And we're delighted to welcome Gavin there. He, I think, had some technical difficulties, so it's fantastic. Gavin, you haven't missed very much. We just did our introductions. So that's great. So we have a full house now, so we get started. And in the first instance, we want to introduce Jane, and Jane McLean is representing the Donegal Garda Youth Diversion Project. And so Jane, why are we here today?
Great, thank you very much, Evelyn. As Evelyn said, I'm a youth justice worker with the Garda Youth Diversion Project in Donegal with Foroige. And I suppose we're here today to talk about accessing further education while overcoming challenges. And it's great to have Fiona and Gavin with us here today, so we're very grateful for that. I suppose students can have many different challenges while studying, challenges including education, things like dyslexia, literacy issues, finances, transport, mental health issues. Some young people are young parents and have issues around childcare. While studying, they can have issues around motivation and concentration, lack of emotional support. Some young people who have been involved with antisocial behaviour and crime can feel like, because maybe they have been cautioned by the guards or the PSNI in the past, that their opportunities in education are limited. Some young people also are accessing their further education training centres and colleges coming from a Leaving Cert Applied background instead of the traditional Leaving Cert. And some young people are accessing these colleges and need to do an access course prior to the mainstream, the course of their dreams, the course that they really want to do. So I suppose fear and perceived obstacles can block us from moving forward and from reaching our goals. So I suppose today we just want to get the facts, and as I said, we're really grateful that Fiona and Gavin are here, because if we're better supported while we're studying, we're going to it's going to be much easier to achieve our goals. So I suppose just to say that not all colleges will have the support services on site within their centre. Excuse me. But I suppose I would encourage any young person that is attending any training centre or any college to ask within that centre, whatever your needs are, whatever support you need, ask. And if that support is not available within the centre, within the college, then the staff there can signpost you to the local community where you can be supported. Foroige have a lot of support services within the community. There are lots of other support services available, excuse me, either within the community where your college is or your own community where you're living. And I suppose the purpose for this is to make life easier, and we all want that. So it's just, I suppose, to make life a bit easier for you in whatever way you may have a challenge to overcome. So that's the gist of it. from me, Evelyn, and I suppose just to say, if there's any questions that you're wondering after this event, you know, you can always link in with myself, and I can, you know, signpost you on to Fiona and Gavin to answer any questions after the event also. Thank you very much, Evelyn.
Brilliant, Jane. And also perhaps if you put those contact details into the chat now, they are available, and anyone that needs to connect back into it. That's fantastic. So that's very clear, you know, and it's interesting, you know, as I mentioned myself, there's lots of people for lots of reasons that can't go the traditional route. And, you know, for any of us, there are lots of things that happen in our lives that maybe we didn't think were going to happen. And it's about overcoming all of those challenges. So I'm delighted now to welcome, as our first speaker today, and delivering some information on what LYIT offer us, is Fiona Kelly, LYIT Schools Engagement Officer and RPL Officer. Fiona, you're very, very welcome. And I know you're going to share a screen in a moment, but maybe perhaps you just tell us a little bit first.
Okay, so thanks so much for having me, and Evelyn, thanks for the introduction, and Jane the same, and great to see Gavin, who I haven't seen really properly in a while. Usually we meet each other when we're out and about on the road, so we'd all know each other very well at this stage. Well, I suppose I work for Letterkenny IT. My job is Schools Engagement and RPL Officer, as you mentioned, and today what I'm going to do is give an overview on the pathways into LYIT. One thing I do want to highlight is we work in partnership with Northwest Regional College, so if you start in Northwest Regional College as well, you can pathway into Letterkenny IT and a number of their foundation degrees. So there has never been a better time to be a young person, you know, thinking about education, because there are no major barriers now, because there's an alternative pathway into every program. So I want that to be clear, and hopefully at the end of this, because it's hard, you know, in 10 minutes to get as much information as we can across, but hopefully this overview will give you an insight into finance, into pathways, and into the programs that we have available at LYIT. So I'll share my screen now, if that's okay, Evelyn, sure. And get straight into it. I should be okay in terms of, you can give me a thumbs up if you can see everything. Okay, so good to go. Perfect. So as I mentioned, my name's Fiona Kelly. I'm LYIT Schools Engagement and RPL Officer. As Schools Engagement Officer, I work with the post-primary schools in the county and beyond. Letterkenny IT attracts students from all over Ireland now. From Donegal, 1 and 2 Donegal students choose to study at home in Letterkenny IT, and our second largest numbers come from Dublin, followed by Monaghan, Mayo and Sligo. So Letterkenny is quite an affordable campus town when you compare it to larger urban areas, so lots of students come to us because of that, the cost of living, but also because a lot of students are realising that a degree from Letterkenny IT at your level 8 honours degree is the same as your degree from your universities in those larger urban areas. So that's why Letterkenny IT has seen a significant growth in numbers in the last 4 years. In fact, we had our highest first year numbers last September. So today I'm going to give you some stats and facts quickly about LYIT. If you're a school leaver, if you're finishing up the Leaving Certificate, or if you're a mature student or further education student thinking about returning to education, then LYIT has 54 programs available today. We have 5,000 students, and we're 50 this year, so we have 5,000 students at 50 this September. We have 72% of our programs, so 3 out of 4 have a work placement. So if you're a student that really likes the practical side of things, maybe you're thinking about sport, or you're thinking about nursing or healthcare, health and social care, these programs have structured work placements. So it means you're going to be out in the industry that you've chosen, and you're going to be out on placements. And that's a really big attractive draw for students. We then have masters and postgraduate programs, significant programs right the way now up to PhD level. And then in 2020, 9 out of 10 of our graduates got work within 4 months of graduating, or went on to further progressive study. So ultimately, anybody that's starting an academic journey is thinking about that kind of career and future. And at LYIT, we have a very high progression rate. 85% of our current students rate their educational experience as good to excellent. And then we have 50 university partners across the world. So you don't just have to do those placements in Donegal. Say, for instance, if you're looking at health and social care or nursing, you can go to Boston or Chicago in your placement. If you're thinking about sport and thinking about sports and exercise, you can go to Austria on your 3rd year placement. Or if you're thinking about the likes of quantity surveying or any of the engineering programs, you can go to New Zealand or Canada. And those placements are actually funded as well. So great opportunities for Donegal Donegal students, particularly who maybe are choosing the first 2 years at home to go abroad then in the third year. And an interesting stat that I do want to highlight is that 56% of our grads last year actually are working now in Donegal. So there's a lot of jobs within this region, within the Derry, Donegal region, and we're very proud that there's so many companies that are employing our grads on our doorstep. As an Institute of Technology, we are awarded Runner-Up Institute Technology of the Year in 2021. There are 11 institutes of technology in the Republic of Ireland, and LYIT is now top 2, just narrowly beaten by Waterford IT for the top spot. So we're very, very proud of that, and that was awarded to us by the Good University Guide and Sunday Times. We're becoming a university. So when you join Letterkenny IT, if you think about us this September, then you will be entering a technological university, because come the 1st of January 2022, we're quite optimistic and hopeful that we will be a technological university. And we're merging with IT Sligo and GMIT. And when we merge, we will be 8 campuses, 20,000 students scattered across the west and northwest. So this is brilliant for the region in terms of the offering. So we have 2 campuses, one based in Letterkenny and the other based in Kellybegs. Our Letterkenny campus is the largest of the 2 campuses. So home to your Department of Science, Department of Health, Department of Design, Business, multiple departments here based in the Letterkenny campus. We have around 400 or 4,500 students based in our Letterkenny campus. So very practical, fantastic on-site facilities, like we have on-site hospital, we have an on-site creche, we have a veterinary hospital, we have our engineering labs, really, really great facilities. And again, that practical side of things. Sometimes students are daunted by the thought of being in classroom all the time, 24/7, theory. That's not what you get at Letterkenny IT. There's a real mixture of practical and theoretical. Our Killybegs campus is home to the Department of Tourism. So if you like the area of chefing, hospitality and tourism, the culinary arts space, then this would be the campus for you. So we have our on-site kitchens there, practical, and everything I'm showing you today is LYIT students in LYIT, and no fake American photos here. These are all our own students in our campuses. We have an on-site restaurant that the students actually manage when it's open and it's not COVID times, but students take the facilities there right the way from kitchen to service. So if you like that learning through doing, then you really are going to enjoy the 10 departments at Letterkenny IT. So future plans and pathways, who can come to us at Letterkenny IT? Well, if you're applying via the CAO, which is the Central Applications Office, it's open to Leaving Certificate students, mature students aged over 23 on the 1st of January of entry, or further education students. So those students may be doing PLCs. And you can make 20 choices on the CAO system. 10 at level 6, 7, and 10 at level 8. So people often ask, well, what's the difference in a technological university versus the normal university? For instance, your UCDs and DCUs. Well, we offer level 6, 7 programs and level 8 programs, and that's the distinct difference. 75% of our staff now are up to doctorate level in terms of their own academic qualifications. So you're getting the exact same standard of qualifications, but what we do at LYIT is offer you 2-year, 3-year, and 4-year programs. And why that's important to highlight is you might be a little bit scared about taking the risk and going into a 4-year program. The majority of our programs have a 2-year backup plan or a 3-year backup plan. So if you're a wee bit daunted at the prospect of coming into a 4-year honours degree, know that there is always a 2-year alternative or another alternative in the likes of the foundation degrees that are offered in Northwest Regional College or Southwest College that you can pathway into us. So just know that in terms of yourselves. We also then offer the LYIT Access Programme. So if you're an early school leaver, or as Jane mentioned, an LCA student, then this programme would be fantastic for you, and I'm going to highlight that now as well. Our access program. We also accept students that are PLC and FE students. So maybe you decide to go down the route of doing a PLC and, for instance, nursing studies in the likes of Donegal College. You can then move into the nursing programs at Letterkenny IT via that pathway. So maybe you didn't do the normal Leaving Cert route, that pathway is also there for you. I always say to students that if you are thinking about Letterkenny IT, explore programs that you enjoy. Lots of people can advise you as to what they think you should be doing, but it's really your life and your choice. So connect in with people like me, people like Gavin, and we'll point you in the right direction. We have our careers, we know where we want it to be, so we will not prescribe to you what you need to be in and what you need to be doing. This is your life and your choice. So use those support services that are available to you. So if, for instance, you're an LCA student or a student that has come out of the LCA program, Then LCA students who've achieved 160 credits can actually pathway into our access program. Or maybe you're an early school leaver. Maybe you're somebody who left secondary school before you did a leaving certificate and you've been out of education for a period of time. There is a pathway for you. So the program and their access program at LYIT is designed for early school leavers, mature students maybe who have been out of education for a while, or the LCA students. Now, there are some restrictions when you finish our access program, that 1-year program at Letterkenny IT. You can't pathway into our nursing programs, but we have 54 programs at LYIT and 3 nursing programs. That's 51 programs that you can access into. And what the Access program does, it allows you to try communications, it allows you to try a little bit of ICT, so computers. It also lets you try maths and learner skills. So it gets you ready for studying in a third level environment. We never expect anybody to come into LYIT as the finished product. That's our job. We're here to help you get to where you want to be. And the Access program is a preparatory course preparing you for third level education. It's no fees. You apply directly to Letterkenny IT, so not via the normal CAO. And you come into LYIT in September time, do those modules from September to December that I mentioned, so communications, ICT, computers, and the learner development skills. And then in the second semester, from January to May, we let you pick topics that you think you might be interested in. You can try sports psychology, you could try social studies, you could try areas like tourism, hospitality. We allow you to make 2 choices, 2 10-credit choices out of a list of 12. Let you dip your toe in the water of an area that you might think you're interested in, and then you get to explore those further if you decide at the end of the 1-year access program to go into any of those programs. So as I mentioned, there's only 3 programs that restrict your access, and that's general nursing, psychiatric nursing, and intellectual disability nursing. So we have around 125 learners every single year on access. So they come in the September, and these are people like you that may be watching that maybe has left school early, who hadn't come straight from school, went into the work environment, or who did the LCA program. That's what this program is designed for. And LYIT is the longest established access office in the higher education sector in the Republic of Ireland. The routes then for students coming in via PLC. So say you decide to go to Finn Valley College in Stranraer and you say, I'm going to do a level 5 in business administration. That level 5 allows you then to access programs without your leaving cert results. So this could be another thing that you might consider. Rather than doing our access program, you might decide to go to Donegal ETB and do an alternative PLC program. At LYIT, 37 of our 54 programs accept any PLC. So you could study sport and get into business. You could study the area of early years and get into business. So you can study any, for 37 of our programs, any PLC level 5. Now, some programs do have restrictions. So for instance, if you're looking at the area of nursing, and I'll give you an example, say veterinary nursing, you have to do a PLC level 5 in animal care. Okay, so there are some restrictions. But again, after today, I really do suggest that you pop in and contact the likes of myself, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what level 5 you should be doing in order to get that program. In general nursing, it's the level 5 in nursing studies that you need to be doing. So it's really important to highlight that. So as I'm showing you here now, there are so many ways to get to where you want to be. It doesn't just have to be the direct leaving certificate cycle, and know that in terms of your options. As Jane mentioned, money can sometimes be a barrier to entry. What supports are there for me to get to where I want to be? One particular bursary I want to highlight is the 1916 bursary fund that we offer at Letterkenny IT. This is available at LYIT, IT Sligo, GMIT Galway, and NUIG Galway because we work in a cluster together. And this bursary is worth €5,000 a year, and we give out 6 of these every year. And if you, for instance, are the first in your family to go to third level education, maybe you've come from an ethnic minority group, or you decide to go down and do a PLC level 5 course and not come straight onto us, then you can apply for this bursary. And the more boxes you can tick in terms of the criteria, and what it's aimed at is aimed at supporting students who maybe wouldn't have naturally gone to third level education to make that move. And it's worth 5k a year. So you get that for every single year on your program. So if you want to know more about that bursary and the deadlines for applying for that, please contact me soon because the deadline's approaching for that. So anybody that's thinking about coming onto us this September, do contact me soon. Lone parents as well can apply for this. It's an amazing bursary. So there's so many different groups that this targets, the 1916 Bursary Fund, and each of our institutions offer 6 of those. Those 4 colleges that I mentioned, we offer 6 of these because you may not necessarily just want to come to Letterkenny, you might want to go to Sligo or Galway. So those options are available. If you're an asylum seeker or a refugee, we offer the College of Sanctuary Scholarship as well. So maybe you're new Irish and you're coming into LYIT in need of supports, then we offer the College of Sanctuary Scholarships as well. We also then offer the Optum Northwest Healthcare Scholarship for students coming into technology or health related programs, and it's worth €2,500 a year. And what I really want to highlight to you is just that the number of scholarships that are there available at LYIT. And another scholarship we offer is called REACH. So say, for instance, you're coming to us this September, you can apply for the REACH bursary, and the REACH bursary is worth €800, and you get that in the first 2 weeks of joining us. So that might go towards the cost of your transport and coming to us at LYIT. So all of these things you can apply for. There's no restrictions on applying for them. You won't get all of them. It would be lovely to be able to grab all of them, but you won't get all of them. But the big thing is applying for them, okay? So these bursaries are really, really important to be aware of. And if you need any advice or information, please touch base with me, and I'll be giving my contact details at the end of this. Student life's important as well. And in terms of, I suppose, what we do at Letterkenny, you're part of a community, okay? And it's very easy to just focus in on the academic side of it, but student life's important. Getting involved in the community that you go to. And clubs and societies are very important to us at Letterkenny. So whether that's sport or whether it's volunteering, there's something for everybody. The building on the right-hand side when you drive into the Letterkenny IT campus is our Health and Wellbeing Centre. One thing I do want to highlight is support services. We have a maths learning centre. So don't be daunted by maths. If you think, well, I'm no good at maths, I never get through a programme. Some of our best people that have come through LYIT have failed maths. Who failed maths before they even joined us and then went on to excel because we have a maths learning centre there to help you and tutor you. We have a communications learning centre and they help you write an assignment and type an assignment up. So don't be daunted by that. Also, we have your doctor, your nurse, your chaplain and your counselling service all available for free at Letterkenny IT with no need for a medical card. So in terms of what we offer, lots of support services there to support you on that journey, as well as in our own gym on-site facility. The only thing you have to pay for in this building is your coffee. We haven't given you a free coffee yet, but someday soon that might be nice. You can get a smoothie on your way out of the gym. So in terms of then the progression, what I do want to highlight today, and just kind of quickly before I kind of wrap up, is just the progression ladder in the higher education sector in the Republic of Ireland, okay? So you can do, I mentioned this earlier, you can do 2-year, 3-year and 4-year programs in the Republic of Ireland setting. Now a 2-year program is known as a level 6 higher certificate, a 2-year option. We then have a bachelor degree, which is 3-year level 7. And then we have an honours degree, which is a 4-year level 8. Now we do at Letterkenny IT offer some of our level 8s as 3-year fast track degrees. But what I want to show you today is this is a stepping stone ladder. So you see here, if you do a 2-year program, you can then top up and go into the final year of the 3-year program, so 2 plus 1. Then maybe you decide you get to the end of that 3rd year and you go, well, you know what, I could go at this again. I could really top up. Then you can do, generally speaking, a +1 in pretty much every program we have, a top up +1. So if you're a wee bit daunted at the prospect of a straight 4-year program, then the pathways of the 2s and the +1 top up 3 and the +1 top up then for a 4-year honours degree are there. Okay, so for instance, in sport, we have a 4-year program in sport, but we also offer a 2-year program in sport. And at the end of it, you have your personal trainer qualification. You might decide to exit and come back another time. That's okay. And that's what makes the Institutes of Technology in the Republic of Ireland great. And there are 11 in Ireland. And it's these 11 that offer the 2-year, the 3-year and the 4-year degree programs. And unlike the kind of the mainstream universities, those practical programs, those 2s and 3s, suit a lot of students that come to LYIT. You might decide you want to work as an SNA. Doing the 2-year program in early years in early childcare health and education is enough to go into the space of SNA, special needs assistant. So it's really important to highlight that more often than not, we have a 2-year or a 3-year and a level 8 choice for you in terms of the programs. So we have three faculties at LYIT: the Faculty of Business, Faculty of Science and Health, and Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Within those three faculties, we have 10 departments. So in the Faculty of Business, we have the Department of Business Studies, Department of Tourism, Department of Law and Humanities, and the Department of Design and Creative Media. In the Faculty of Science and Health, we have the Department of Early Education and Social Studies, Department of Nursing and Healthcare, and the Department of Life and Physical Sciences. And then in Engineering and Technology, we have the Department of Civil Engineering and Construction, Computing, and Electronic and Mechanical Engineering. Now, I'm not going to go in too heavy into the programs that we have today. There are multiple options across each of the departments, and I'm just going to bring them up just briefly now on screen, and you can have a quick read as we go through this. From law to business, from accountancy to marketing, from sports and exercise, we have significant number of programs across the departments. Maybe you're creative, you like the space of animation, maybe fashion with promotion, digital film and video. There are multiple options across all our departments. In the space of tourism, as I mentioned earlier, culinary arts is your chefing. We also offer hospitality and tourism. And the one thing I think we're all guaranteed is that we will all party hard when we finish up out of COVID. Everyone will take every opportunity to go somewhere and do something. And there'll be plenty of opportunities in terms of careers here. In civil engineering and construction, we have quantity surveying, construction management, architectural technology, fire safety engineering, civil engineering. And again, the access program paths you into all these programs. The only restrictions here across all I've mentioned here are just the nursing program. So plenty of opportunities. In electronic and mechanical engineering, you have your biomedical, mechanical, and electronic engineering. And then in computing, you have computer science, applied computing, computer games development, and computer security and digital forensics. In the space of science, we have occupational therapy, physiotherapy, dietetics, broad sciences, pharmaceutical, medicinal, vet nursing, agriculture. Again, access allows you access to vet nursing, agriculture, dental nursing, and pharmacy technician. And a lot of these are programs are 2-year and 3-year programs. And then finally, in the Department of Nursing and Healthcare, we have psychiatric, general nursing, and intellectual disability nursing, as well as then our early years programs, early childcare, health and education, health and social care. So it's your education, your future. Really take your choose your options carefully. Think about you and what you want. Research. And if you need any more information, you can contact me anytime, or you can visit our campus. So that's me. Hopefully I kept within the time there, Evelyn. I'm
Great.
conscious.
Fiona, we could listen to you all day. That was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
And even though that I'm a resident in Donegal, I have to say I didn't realize there was quite as much to know. But it's wonderful to think, that regardless of what level you're at, or what stage you're at, or what you've been through, or what you have to overcome, that it certainly sounds like there are opportunities. And I think certainly, Fiona, that, in terms of anyone that's listening here today, I think Fiona certainly will be a great advocate to you, and someone who really will talk it through to you.
Absolutely.
And I think that, they're fantastic. So we've had one question in so far. I'm just going to ask you that, and then we'll have more questions at the end. And Gavin, you can get ready, and we'll be coming to you shortly. And again, for anybody who's joined us, because I see some people have joined us, you have attended the Donegal Garda Youth Diversion Project Next Steps summer webinar, and this is part 1. Part 2 is next week. We'll be telling you a little bit about that now in a moment. So one of the questions we have in was that someone has said that there's a shortage in chefs. Mm-hmm. So at a catering point of view, so basically how does that work? So
okay, so in terms of, I suppose, the programs, if you're thinking about chefing, in the space of chefing, then it would be culinary arts. It's a level 7 3-year bachelor degree. Any PLC level 5 is accepted. Okay, access program reserves places for students direct and in via access. And the person that is, I suppose, posed the question is right. There's a massive gap and a massive shortage. Now, one of our best graduates in the space of culinary arts in the last academic year is Daniel Lambert. Daniel Lambert, now, if you have a chance, go to Chef Daniel Lambert on TikTok. He last March joined TikTok during COVID-19, the first lockdown. And Daniel's only a young fella himself, early 20s, came to LYIT from Dublin, always knew it was chefing. He always thought that chefs were robots. He didn't know how anybody made the food, and was just kind of interested in food, and joined TikTok last March, and has now built a career in food influencing and food marketing. So he now just has done a chefing qualification at Letterkenny IT, joined TikTok, and has now been sponsored by SuperValue, Subway, companies like that, to basically do videos, food blogging videos. Has been on Good Morning America for Patrick's Day, doing Irish food. So it's not just your typical chef anymore. Careers, when you do culinary arts, can be in so many spaces. So yes, massive demand. Most of our grads coming out in the chefing space are starting on 35k. So in terms of salary scales, that's really, really great money at the end of your level 7. And a lot of our grads travel the world because everyone likes to eat, and there's lots of opportunities for chefs in terms of careers. So a level 7 qualification is enough. You can top up again with the +1. There is a program as well on Springboard right now. So Springboard is open to people who, for instance, are maybe a wee bit daunted about a full-time program, and there's a certificate in culinary skills on Springboard at the moment. And if anybody's unemployed, it's free. And it's a level 6 program that's done part-time 2 days a week in our Killybegs campus. If you're in employment, you only pay 10% of the fees for the Springboard courses, but because this is a level 6, it's free to everybody. So say somebody maybe is working part-time as a waiter or waitress in the hospitality sector and thinking, I wouldn't mind making the move into chefing, but I don't think I could go back 5 days a week to the full-time course. That's your 2-day-a-week option there, and usually you can get a release.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. We recently, in another webinar we did there recently, we did have a chef on, and he was talking about the experience of going back to college and now he's running his own business. So that's fantastic. So yeah, look, that's really, really good information there. So Fiona, thank you so much. So now I'm going to pass you on to, or say hello to, Gavin Stevenson from Northwest Regional College, and Senior Administrator and Career Guidance is your title here. So Gavin, you are very welcome. We'll get you to introduce yourself a little bit, and then if you'd like to share a screen or not, just chat away to us about all the opportunities that you have there.
No problem. Can you all hear me okay?
Perfect, yeah, no bother.
That's great, Bernard. No, many thanks for inviting me, Evelyn and Jane and Fiona. Great to see you again. It's been a while, I know, with obviously the last year and a half that we've had, but no, I've been at the college now 5 years, and I'm a careers advisor, and I'm going to talk to you today about the options available in the Northwest Regional College. Part of my role as well, much like Fiona's, is going around the schools in Northern Ireland, but as well as the Republic. So obviously, I've been up to Dunlow, Buncrana, obviously, Moville, right down as far as Abbey Vocational and Donegal. So I like to get around the schools. I really enjoy that part of the role. But ultimately, as Fiona well said, it's about giving you all the information for you to help you make an informed decision. And at the end of the day, we have, much like LYIT, where you can enter at the lower level or work all the way up to the highest level, in terms of the academics within in the college at level 6. Now, when I talk about levels, if you just bear with me in terms of levels, in the Republic, a level 5, okay, which is your leaving cert, would be equivalent to a level 3 in Northern Ireland. So you guys sit 2 levels above us. So as Fiona well said, a honours degree would be level 8, and our honours degree in the Northern Ireland or the UK would be level 6. So if you just remember that as I'm going through this. But as I say, we're about 20% of our students are from the Republic. As I say, we have lots of students traveling in, and over the last year and a half, obviously, things have been made more difficult by the pandemic. And for everyone listening, I hope you're all safe and well, and I just hope that we get into some kind of normality now in September, and over the coming months as well. The college will be open. We are open for business, as they say. So you're more than welcome to come in and talk to me in person, because I would like to meet you in person, yourself, your families, and so on. And you're more than welcome to come in and see me. So I'll share my screen, and at the end, I'm going to show a little video, very short, but it just gives you a little flavour of the college, and it's been done by Student Services. I know Fiona mentioned a lot about student support, and for me, qualifications and careers, of course, are important, but the most important thing is your well-being, your health, your happiness, and that you enjoy being a student. And I was a student at Northwest Regional College. I left in 2000, a long time ago, but I remember it well, and it has significantly improved since I left over 20 years ago. So I'm going to share my screen with you now, so just let me know if you can see it. Give me a thumbs up.
Not yet, no. Yeah, there we're coming now. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so yes, we're based in Derry, Londonderry. We have a campus in Limavady, and we have a campus in Strabane as well for those traveling probably, you know, the closest to obviously Lifford, and students come from Letterkenny as well. So we have 5 campuses across the region. And we've 18 different subject areas, and as Fiona said as well, lots of different areas. I'm not going to go through them all, but administration and the secretarial for, you know, medical administration, legal secretarial, you know, obviously working within the business and administration services. We've adult learning. I know Fiona mentioned that our access diplomas. A lot of students from the Republic have come and done our access diploma. They are validated by Ulster University and Queen's University, and with the intent of progressing to higher education. So you could do 1 year full-time or 2 years part-time. So access science would be for pharmacy, pharmaceutical, bioscience, and paramedics, and even midwifery and nursing. We've health and welfare as well, which can get you into social work, children's nursing, and nursing as well at Queen's and Ulster. And then we have our combined studies, which has gotten students into social work, mental health nursing, law, accounts, business, etc. So for anybody listening, they're for students who are over 19 and have been out of education for a while. So anybody listening, you know, it's a 1 year course or a 2 year part-time course, and you could do that in unison with employment, for instance, if you're in a part-time. But the ultimate goal really is to progress to higher education. As Fiona mentioned, you know, they go up that academic level. Art and design, fashion and textiles. We've got business and enterprise as well, which have a great foundation degree with a 1 year top up at McGee here in the city. We've care and health, which is probably our biggest provider of courses in order to get into the allied health professions. With computing and IT, we've just introduced there recently an esports course at level 3, which is level 5 in the Republic. And esports is competitive gaming. It's not my area of expertise, but it is a growing global industry at the minute, competitive gaming. We have construction and the built environment, obviously for civil engineering, quantity surveying, architecture, and things like that. Early years, excellent department with a great partnership with LYIT, where you can do our HND program for 2 years and then top that up at LYIT for another 2 years as well. I thought I'd put this up as well. This is the projections in Northern Ireland at the minute. And the biggest sectors of growth at the minute in Northern Ireland are your professional, scientific and technical areas, information technology, obviously in IT, digital services and so on, and health and social care. They're our biggest 3 top growth areas at the minute, followed by manufacturing, construction. And as Fiona well said as well, you know, the arts and entertainment, hospitality and tourism, I think there'll be a massive resurgence in those areas when we get out of this pandemic. So I look forward to that. Other areas we offer: hairdressing and beauty, hospitality and catering, media, multimedia and journalism. We have a great film and television course that a lot of our students actually worked on the set of Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones has really put Northern Ireland on the map in recent years because of the fantastic scenery and culture we have here in Ireland. We have music and performing arts, which really makes up the culture of the city here in Derry. Science, okay, applied medical forensic science. We have a lot of students this year have gone into paramedic science. Now, paramedics science has become a new course in Ulster University for the very first time, and it's very, very exciting. Lots of things are happening at Ulster University at the minute with a new medical school, with a new graduate entry program in order to become a general practitioner or a doctor. And health and life sciences is moving to McGee campus as well in Derry. So lots of exciting things happening here and obviously in the Republic. Sport, fitness and leisure, which is where I all started. I came here and did sports science for 2 years and then went on and taught PE for 12 years, which I really enjoyed. And now I find myself back at North West Usual College, which I'm very much enjoying. Traineeships and apprenticeships for your trades and construction related areas. And then travel and tourism as well. So a lot of our students go on and work as holiday reps, you know, work on cabin crew, cruise ships. Again, our tourism industry is taking a hit, but I really do believe at the end of this, we'll be in a great place and we'll be able to do the things we enjoy again. In terms of maths and English, I thought I'd bring this up because a lot of students who come to the college, you know, they may, as I know Fiona mentioned as well, they may struggle with maths. We have a math center as well. I struggled with maths when I came here to the college, got great one-to-one support to get me pass. And we've also a learning support center as well. They're called a Learning Link. that can really help you with your assignments and your breakdown and your essays and sentence structure and vocabulary and things like that as well. So in order for progression into employment, you really need that maths and English, whether it be GCSE, whether it be Leaving Cert, obviously at 04 at ordinary level or above. And obviously you got your essential skills level 2, which is free to study as well on a part-time basis, or it can be incorporated within your full-time program if you decide to study with us on a full-time basis. So courses from level 1 to 5, or as I mentioned earlier on, 3 to 7 in the Republic of Ireland. And obviously level 8 would be your honours degree then, as Fiona mentioned. So we offer courses for students with no formal qualifications. So if you happen to have no formal qualifications at all for whatever reason, then there are courses here that where you can start at level 1 and work your way through. Okay, and they include quite a few of them, but some of them there include construction and the multi-trades and multi-crafts, hospitality, caring for children in the early years sector. We have work skills and we have a few programs as well, such as Princess Trust and the Connect program. We have for entry into our level 2s, you would require obviously a Leaving Cert at 06 and above. We also have level 3 courses for students with Leaving Cert with maths and English, and they are level 3 courses, which are equivalent to Leaving Cert or A level here in Northern Ireland. And we do accept Leaving Cert applied as well with a merit or distinction in all of our level 3 programs as well. So for example, health sciences, if you wanted to go on to midwifery, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, dietetics, veterinary science, then an LCA would be enough to get into a level 3 program. Health sciences would be one of our popular, very, very popular courses, particularly from our Republic students. Some courses as well, when you apply, guys, you have to attend an interview, okay, an information session, most likely online, maybe produce a portfolio if you're doing art and design or you're doing creative media, or attend an audition. Obviously, if you're a musician, you're a performer, music producer, a DJ perhaps, a singer, you'll have to do some kind of audition. And depending on the curriculum area, the entry requirements do vary. So just keep an eye on our website and our prospectus, and you can download that on our website, as you can see in the bottom right there. In terms of Leaving Cert, I'm not going to go through too much through this, as I'm sure you're all aware anyway, but just for those who are not, Leaving Cert does accumulate UCAS points, which obviously you can see there in unison with your CAO points. So if you're doing anything from H1 or achieve anything from a H1 to a H6, then you'll accumulate UCAS points, and anything from an O1 or an ordinary level 1 to an ordinary level 4 will gain you UCAS points to gain an entry into our higher education courses. So higher education is anything level 5, level 6, 7, and 8 and beyond, okay, which is our higher national certificates, which are 1 year. Diplomas are 2 years, like early years. Foundation degree, we do a foundation degree in sports, fitness and coaching, which can lead you on to LYIT to top it up to a full degree. And we also have higher level apprenticeships, and higher level apprenticeships are you earn while you learn. So you work 4 days a week for a company, you get paid a wage, you do a foundation degree level qualification, and there are no student fees, and that's including for students in the Republic as well. So higher level apprenticeships, they only came out about 4 or 5 years ago, but they are massive, and we have them in software development, engineering, early years, software development, accountancy, and travel and hospitality and tourism. So what's next, guys? Progression, really, you know, that's a big part of what I do as a careers advisor, is they help you with the progression, whether that be into employment, directly into employment, or directly in the university. This year, we've had over 600 university applications, and a lot of those students have taken up their offers, and pending the results will be going to university. But on the other side of that coin, a lot of students go directly into employment. There are a lot of jobs out there that don't necessarily need a full honours degree. Obviously, if you want to be a teacher or a nurse or a physiotherapist, social worker, you will need a degree, yes. But there's some fantastic careers out there where a foundation degree or an ordinary degree at LYIT, for instance, can really forge a career for you in the labour market within Ireland and Northern Ireland. So just give me a wee thumbs up again. I'm going to just show you a very quick video. I thought I'd do this, guys, just to give you a flavour. I would love to have you all on campus. Hopefully over the summer, we'll be able to invite you in if you want to come on with your friends and family. Obviously, the safety measures are in place, but I'd like to show you a little 4-minute video just on what we've been doing during the pandemic and how we've maintained that engagement and that support for our students, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is your well-being and your mental health and things like that. So let me know if you can hear this okay, and you can see it.
Perfect.
So you're planning on studying with us in our professional college, and you might be thinking about doing a further education course. And further education courses are anything where you see levels 1, 2, or 3.
Hello everyone, you're very welcome here today to the first day of our virtual higher education week. So these are all the factors that determine what type of finance you receive. You must all work together to adhere to social distancing, follow the procedures that have been put in place in the college. All students will have been asked to complete a return to college questionnaire. It's really important that everyone completes this before entering the college.
Underneath, hand sanitizer, sure to cover your hands. Everyone, my name is Gavin Stevenson. I'm the Careers Advisor here at Northwest Regional College. I take this opportunity to welcome you all to our Global Enterprise Week 2020.
Here at our Greystone campus. Within this campus, this is where we offer trade occupations in a wide range of engineering and construction related trades. Hi everyone, today I'm going to give you a brief overview of what Elemental is and how it can benefit you. Elemental is a social prescribing platform and is free for you as a student to use.
The inaugural, the first Careers Academy inspired podcast. We were quite a nervous look. I've never seen you look nervous in my life. Karen. Okay. We got Karen Murray, here to we're going to discuss COVID and maybe the effect of students and stuff.
Working with them to develop an individualized learning support plan means that they can access appropriate support right from the beginning of their course.
Higher education as an alternative path
All right, guys. So that was just a little, just a wee flavour of the kind of things we've been doing over since March 2020. And you know, again, much like every school and every college, university in Ireland and well, really across the world, like we've had to adapt, and technology has given that, you know, given us that ability to adapt. You know, and remote learning for me, obviously, there's no substitute for the classroom teaching, for being on placement, voluntary work, you know, being with your fellow students, your peers, your lecturers, your support staff. And, you know, and we really engage with our students online, give them the support, even though a lot of them were working from home. And I really hope, you know, in all the years I've been in education, this year has been the most challenging, but I really think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and a lot of positive things will come out of it. And the video really just shows that we've so much support in the college, much like LYIT, you know, we're here to help you along your journey and give you that learner experience. And when I came to the college a long time ago, I remember my experience. I maybe don't remember everything I learned in class and the actual curriculum side of it, but I remember the experience, and that's what we want you to do. We want for you to enjoy it, because the more you enjoy it, the more you learn, and the more likely are you to fulfill your potential and move on to a great career in the future. All right, now I'm going to talk a little bit about finance. I was due to have a colleague with me today to talk about it, but I did get a little rundown on what support's available. Level 1, 2, and 3, again, 4, 5, and 6 in the south. All those courses are free. Part-time courses, there is a reduced fee if you're under 19. Okay, a very manageable fee for that. Any over 19s, there is an FE grant to help you with part-time fees. Anybody applying for higher education can apply for a SUSI grant in the south and avail of the support from student finance to cover the tuition fees for a foundation degree, for example, which is $2,500 a year. And for any young people listening as well today, and you're in benefits, for instance, in the Republic, you know, you can ask your Jobs and Benefits Office about a back to education scheme. So that can support you while you're studying at Northwest User College. But levels 1, 2, and 3 are free at the college. The careers team, again, we're open all summer. We've a big summer presence on campus. And if you'd like to organize a visit, to come in, have a little tour, please let us know. Okay, it'd be great to meet you in person. If you're unsure about your next steps, again, please book with an appointment with a qualified careers advisor like myself and my colleagues, Stephen and Lynn and Fanine, Shannon and Patty. And we will be more than happy to help you, sit you down and really give you an individualized, tailored career plan and look at the options available, not just in Northwest Regional College. Even if you're deciding to go to the LYIT or take a different route, we are a career service for all students, no matter what college you attend or what educational establishment you attend. So we're here for all of you. Hope you're all safe and well, and thank you for very much for listening to me and inviting me along today.
Great, Gavin, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. That really was fantastic. And some of the great, I'll just get you to stop sharing your screen there, that would be brilliant. Some of the great observations there, first and foremost, is that regardless of what level you're at, what journey you've come on, there are so many opportunities. I mean, it's really, you know, I'm totally, this was fantastic for me because I've learned so much today that I can now share with other people. Gavin, the innocence of youth. When you talk about 2000, it's been a long time ago. I think I did my leaving cert in 1981. So, you know, it was way back in the 80s. So like I'm sitting here smiling. And also there was just something that came up. I love the fact that your video was very creative and your people had done it themselves. But something, and before I go to Jane again, because I know Jane wanted to ask a specific question. I just wanted to mention, I noticed something there about carers. Young carers, and I think that's a really, really important thing to draw attention to, because, you know, in an ideal world, everything runs smoothly. We all attain the grades, we all have the perfect life or whatever, but we don't. You know, and I often say to people, even when we're driving a car, looking in the wrong direction for 30 seconds or 2 seconds can change our lives and other people's lives and leave us in situations, you know, that we couldn't even imagine. So for a lot of our young people today, maybe watching this, maybe it's just not an option. Maybe they are a carer for an elderly or an elder care. So I just saw that and I thought, Gavin, what exactly is that about?
Well, that would fall under our again, our student services team, and our widening access participation officer, Eva McLean, is in charge of the community. So we offer, we support any refugees. I know Fiona mentioned that as well. We support school-age mothers. We support anybody who's maybe an international student. We support, as you well mentioned there, those who are caring for their loved ones. So we just put a package in place for them. We've a fantastic partnership now with Elemental, which is a social prescribing company that's opened up in the city. So we from the very onset, as soon as any students apply, if they disclose that they have that they have a care responsibility, they will be invited along to have an appointment with Eva, with Shannon in the safeguarding department. They really talk about what reasonable adjustments and support we can put in place, because all of our support is tailored to each individual student in each case, because every student's been on a different journey, has different goings on at home, things in their own life, and we've all got more important things and qualifications and careers, our families, our loved ones, our health, our mental health. So we really, I think student services now going forward is the way I like to see it in the college. We have the curriculum staff on one side, we have the support staff on the other side, and in the middle is the student. And the student is the lifeblood of any college, of any technical institute, of any university, because if it wasn't for students, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. And before I pass you over to Jane, again, it just appears from what you both said, and if you put your contact details into the chat in case anybody needs them, but it just appears that regardless of where you are, what your level, what your needs are, what your family situation is, where you've been and what your journey, there is huge, not just educational opportunities, but huge educational opportunities, and that there is absolutely nothing that you can't attain by what you're both saying. So that's fantastic. I know that Jane has a specific question she wanted to ask, so I'm just going to go over to her, and then we'll come back. And believe it or not, folks, it is almost 4 o'clock. The time went so quickly. And we'll open the floor as well. There's some questions then just that we'll finish off with. Jane, I know there was a question you wanted to clarify.
Yeah, thank you very much, Evelyn, Fiona and Gavin. Thank you so much. That was just fantastic, both presentations. There's so much content and information, so I'm so glad that this is a resource, because anybody that needs it going forward, and this information will be relevant for a long time. So I'm absolutely delighted. So it was great to hear the course content, the pathways, and that there are so many pathways now for young people, so many opportunities. Also the bursaries, the opportunities around finances that they have within your centres, and the free counselling services, and this was the fun and support that you provide to young people is fantastic. I suppose myself, coming from I'm a youth worker in a Garda youth diversion project, so I suppose with that in mind, I would like to ask you both, what would your message be to a young person that has been cautioned by the guards or maybe the PSNI in relation to further education? What would be your message to those young people?
Well, I can go first, okay?
Yeah, Fiona, yeah.
So the one thing I suppose I'll highlight is that some of our programs are Garda vetted programs, and that's one thing I do want to highlight. But I wouldn't be entirely sure now if a caution would be on a Garda vetted record. Now, programs that it would be Garda vetted would be like sports and exercise, early years, health and social care, and nursing. And those programs are Garda vetted because you will be coming in contact with vulnerable adults or children as well in terms of the course of your placements as part of the program. But I wouldn't let, I suppose your past prescribe your future. All right. And everybody that comes to LYIT is coming with their own story, their own background. So don't just assume before you make your application that you're not going to get in. And I really would recommend that if you are someone that is coming from a background where you think that maybe there may be something on your record that may impact your choices, let us know, because you can access other programs that aren't Garda vetted. And I think we have around 7 to 8 programs out of 54 that require Garda vetting. So it really is about the level and extent of what has happened in your past as well, in terms of it before it would even come in your record. So don't let that be a barrier to entry, because sometimes it's your own mind rather than the actual reality of what the situation really is. So really that's where we are at. You can email admissions@lyit.ie, email me fiona.kelly@lyit.ie. And one thing I do want to highlight as well, Jane, for any young mothers out there or fathers, anybody that maybe has a young child, we offer a creche subsidy at Letterkenny IT as well. And we have the community creche scheme as well, which means that the creche subsidy, if you go into a community creche scheme, like for instance, Letterkenny Community Creche, if you're on a social welfare payment, 75% of it is covered, and then the payment you get from the Student Union Letterkenny IT covers that extra that may be needed when your child needs care while you're in full-time education. So you apply directly to the Student Union. And I was a young mother returning to education. I had my son at 19 years of age. So look, I know what it's like to come back and to have lots of things going on in your own wee bubble. So just don't let any decision in your past define you in your future.
Brilliant. That's great, Fiona. And Gavin?
No, brilliant, Fiona. Yeah, no, I just reinforce exactly what Fiona said in terms of what's happened in the past. And you know, whenever you make an initial application to the Northwest Regional College, it will specifically ask you, have you been cautioned, and they disclose anything, because once it's a bit like if you have any learning support needs, that's on the application as well. And that'll trigger automatically with our learning support team, for instance, who will bring you in for an assessment. They put reasonable adjustments in place. And the same can be said if you have any kind of caution, is that Shannon, our safeguarding officer for the college, will meet you in person. They'll talk to you on an individual case-by-case basis about the course that you're obviously interested in. And as Fiona well said, you know, if you're going into nursing, early years, sports, anything where you're with people, then you will be access and it's called an access and A, or a access and I checked in Northern Ireland, but they're in partnership with the Garda vetting as well in the Republic. So, but no, as I say, your past doesn't define your future, and we take each case by case basis. But as Fiona well said, the biggest barrier and the biggest obstacle is they just come through that door. As soon as you come into LYIT or Northwest Regional College, you'll be welcomed, and you'll be welcomed with no prejudgment and we would love to see you and meet you, because you know every student has their own story, and we love to hear it, whether it be negative or positive. But we can help you again forge a career in a very fantastic place in Ireland and northwest of Ireland.
Brilliant. Well, Gavin and Fiona, that's fantastic, and that's a perfect spot, Gavin, when you mentioned about stories, because please, part 2 of this very exciting webinar is next week, Thursday, the 1st of July, 3 to 4 p.m. again, and it will cover the motivation. This was the education part of it next week. So our guest speakers are Oisín Merritt. Oisín 7 years ago fell from a balcony while holidaying in Santa Ponsa, and if you come along, discover how this changed his life and how he's not just overcome his challenges, but now motivates and inspires others to live a life of gratitude and take responsibility for writing your own story. And I know that Oisín has a lot of education since, and has some exciting plans ahead. And then Gavin Walker. Gavin grew up in an estate and experienced the challenges of teenage life, and he'll join us to share his story on how the support of others can turn your life around, and now dedicates his own life to living his best life and inspiring and motivating others. And so we'll hear how they got to where they are, what decisions and choices led them, and how they were able to turn and build their lives, building on their confidence and belief that regardless where you are in life, you hold the pen to write the chapters of the book of life that you're living. So I want to thank you all so much. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I think I've learned a lot. I hope everybody that's joined us has. There's some great positive feedback coming in. This will be available on YouTube very shortly, and we'll let you know that. So to Jane and all the team in the Garda Youth Diversion Project, thank you so much for inviting myself from how I got to where I am to deliver this today, to Fiona Kelly, LYIT, and Gavin Stevenson, Northwest Regional College, and all of you who are attendees who are quietly out there listening to us, we hope. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Don't miss it.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe.